Now, there's no doubt about it that both Jon and Dave are very dedicated to their work and to the fandom on really satisfying the community and really kind of re-exploring some Legends material that's really going to change the face of Lucasfilm, as well as the Star Wars brand itself. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, the thing that Jon and Dave are caught up in right now is really getting Mando Season 4 done, and they want to get this all out on Disney Plus by the holiday season of 2024. They got quite a little ways to go. If they don't meet production times, it will be pushed over to 2025. We'll have to wait and see. But nonetheless, we got Mando 3 coming out on March 1st, which, by the way, is something very special to look forward to. We also have the Ahsoka Tano series, which, by the way, guys, great news. It is official, it is greenlit, that it is going to be a multi-season show. After months worth of Jon and Dave convincing the Disney higher-ups, pitching all these story ideas, it is now officially listed as a scripted series and a multi-season show. Now, with that being said and all, what's even all the more exciting is exactly what Jon and Dave are preparing to do in order to truly change the face of the Skywalker Saga and the nature of it all, and exactly how they are going to go about doing all of this. So let's tap right into exactly what they have planned, and what is happening, what Bob Iger recently allowed to happen by the hands of Jon and Dave, and where this is all really going to lead, right? So anyways, with that being all done and said, we know that Jon and Dave really love Star Wars Legends, and basically they will be using that source material to change the events of the Skywalker Saga. Now, with both Jon and Dave getting ready to make big adjustments to the Skywalker Saga, they are also prepared to make some big announcements at Star Wars Celebration, where it's noted that currently Jon and Dave are now about to make some huge changes to the Skywalker Saga that involve many of the fan-favorite characters. Now, further, it's noted that Jon and Dave are about to make it canon that Luke Skywalker did have a love interest and eventually got married to the popular Legends character, Mara Jade, that is set to be placed in all future canon material that will begin in 2024 with books and with Mando Season 4. They are also on a course to introducing the son of Luke Skywalker that will hold a different name than Ben Skywalker like in Legends. This is something that is now in the early works and is in development for the fans to see. George Lucas is said to be helping out with these big changes to the Skywalker Saga, and that this is a big move that Bob Iger greenlit some time ago, and just greenlit more stories to be made canon in an upcoming attempt to win back the fans and bring the fandom back to how it was before 2017. Now, let me just stop right here for a second. The thing about this is that we know that everything related to Legends is very expansive. The fact that they are now moving forward with the whole Mara Jade plan, and as well as the Son of Luke Skywalker plan, to really be the big motivation of changing the history of the Skywalker Saga. Now, we know that Disney's initial plan, and what was canon, was that Luke never got married, Luke never had a love interest, Luke never had a child. And that is all now shifting, all because of Jon and Dave, as well as George Lucas, mind you, convincing Bob Iger to make said changes. And that's all shifting away now. That's all becoming a big part of the new plan, and they are going to be doing this in partitions. The great thing that I think about, Legends is that there's so much to explore and so many different stories to tell that Jon and Dave basically now have endless material to really kind of expand in the form of either A, live action, or B, animated material that could very well be done just as well. So, the thing that I like most about this is that we know that given that Favreau has a lot of contacts with the Marvel cast, we know that Karen Gillan is now set up to be portraying Mara Jade as a character. Now, Karen Gillan, I think, is a strong choice. There could have obviously been other choices that they could have embraced, but I think that Karen Gillan is spot on for Mara Jade, given the time that they are set to explore in Mando Season 4. But moving on to the next big thing here is that they are also going to be shifting and retconning many aspects of the sequel trilogy based on these changes. Alright, so this kind of opens up a can of worms in a sense that Jon and Dave are going to have to deal with and fix, because let's face it, if Luke had a wife and a son, it makes you wonder, where are they during the sequels? What happened to them? That's what Jon and Dave have to explore, and that's exactly what they will be exploring. Moving on. Now, right now, Jon and Dave are focused on completely rearranging aspects of the Skywalker Saga and completely exploring the Legends timeline and how it will impact and change the sequel trilogy films. Now, this is said to be a big move on their end in order to expand the Skywalker bloodline and the family tree. Both Jon and Dave are already looking at who could play the son of Skywalker, in which they plan to introduce the fans sometime in 2025 for a new mystery Star Wars show. Now, with Mara Jade coming into the picture for Mando Season 4, both as a villain and Luke's significant other in the series, leading into a planned Luke series called Jedi Knight. So, we already know that also on top of this, they are going to be changing the character of Rey. Her bloodline, her true backstory, who she really is, stuff like that. They are going to be transforming her into having the Kenobi bloodline. That's another thing that they too will be embracing in the future canon material. So the thing about this that I think fans need to be very well aware about is, given the overall structure of the Skywalker Saga, this is probably the biggest decision that they could really make. The fact that they are focusing on Luke's story, changing in a massive way in comparison to what Disney initially planned out to do, is a very big deal. It just goes to show you that Bob Iger now is willing to do whatever it takes to win back the fans. And you have to do it as accurately as possible. And they know that. They are very well aware that they have to really tell these stories accurately if they want to win back, especially the hardcore fans, right? So that really does open up a lot of other questions. Exactly where is this all going to go? We know that Mando 4 is intended to be the final season, alright? But Jon was openly clear that if Mando 4 proves to be wildly successful, we're talking about astronomically successful, that he wants to actually renew it until a season 6 and kind of give it that Cobra Kai treatment, where basically the show ends at a season 6. So he's open to doing that too, and I don't blame him for that. I mean, if it's successful, why not continue it, right? As long as you got a good story fleshed out, you know, be my guest, you know, move forward with the story. So this is probably the biggest decision that Jon and Dave had to make, and really kind of embracing the new and mixing it in with the old. I think that fans, you know, are really gonna see how Legends really grew on a lot of fans back in the day, and where it's really going to lead into changing the sequels. That's going to be also very interesting. So overall, guys, like I say, they have a lot of changes coming our way. Fill me in below what you guys have to say about this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.